The Journey of Styles by Damien Renwick. Limestone Blessing. He had to return to where he was supposed to be. He had seen enough, and he knew that he had overstepped his boundaries. The face looked past him, toward the sapphire tunnel where he had come from. He turned around and started walking back the way he came, and couldn't help admire the craftsmanship of it all. The wall still in front of him, and its entrance, built at an inclination, seemed to penetrate the sky. He knew it to be an optical illusion, but just the same, he admired it, stopping momentarily. The color of both the wall and the ceiling blended. He knew the wall didn't actually touch the ceiling. It just looked that way. The path in between the two walls twinkled, where the shadow had arrived inside of the wall, free from the splattering luminosity of the floor, where it was still dark. He altered his direction with the pivot of his heel and continued to walk towards the twinkle. The only thought on his mind was whether he would attain experiences from the detour. He hoped it could be a fellow Javandian. He needed help, he thought. Then he remembered what Nip had said. Learn to work with nothing, or something like that. He focused as he walked, trying to remember what he had been told. He changed his mind too. He wasn't trying to be found by the dreamers. The polygon faces that made up the floor twinkled enough so he saw the outline of the eyes of someone watching him. He pelted out a strong emotion of himself as to show whoever they were that he was a dreamer using teachers and was looking for a shaman, unless they had the crown. Had he fucked up? That message would go out to everyone. There was no reply. Only elders who knew how to dissolve themselves into the rainbow. Only one of the 72 elders could hide their presence. He went from thinking it wasn't Nip to it must be Pin, even though they were both aspects of the same person. He sent out his own thoughts as messages whilst continuing to walk in thought. As he approached, it became dark, and he decided to close his eyes for a moment, adjusting to the darkness. When he opened them again, he screamed, "Hawa!" asking for the crystals to come to life. The walls began to lighten up. Within each brick, multitudes of pigments brightened to pure yellow. A reflection appeared once more. "Pin!" he screamed. The crystal yellow walls then glowed fiery purples. Crystals grew quickly, reshaping his face to that of himself. Styles. He smiled, then realized it was all just his reflection. Pin was not actually there. The plant-like weeds which grew between the bricks, adorned the walls, reacted to his breath. They themselves were a wondrous creation. Each brick was plated with sapphire. The entire wall was schools of sapphire. The plants somehow grew single bud organic life that reassembled cannabis, another of his elders and teachers. The ibis-headed plant had 7 dreads, pointing like a star. The pattern was geometric. Styles hummed the corresponding sound. He knew his hum was that of the image because it was a popular image. Everybody knew it. He wondered about the sacred wall. He picked it with the supercrystal cannabis-looking plant and put the heavy plant in his bone bag. Then said, Hawa. His breath affecting the wall before him and gave life to the plant. All around where he had picked, he saw before him roughly 54 pretty spirals growing from the wall. As hard as crystal was supposed to be, he had plucked it quite easily. He smiled knowing that in its place were bouquets of smaller doppelgangers. The flower meant in human expression, patience or wait. He touched the wall and made a prayer to finding his way to a safe pen. As he did, he felt and heard a crescendo coming from the other side of the wall. The thundering wallop was loud enough for him to locate the source and then to find his way back out. The sound was like a huge bird. It went higher. He knew the sound would disappear in his underground place. He ran out of the entrance. Surely someone had entered the cave and was making a racket. Crack! Another crescendo. It seemed to bang louder and louder. He looked in the direction of where the noise came from. He couldn't see anything that would warrant noise like that. Running towards the large causeway ahead of him across the flat landscape, he clocked the direction of the bang. He ran to the outline of a purple pathway going up to the sky. Pelting flat out across the purple pathway, the noise, the bang, didn't make sense as sound meant everything to his people. Sounds were made for reasons, and if there was a sound which was not understood, then it would leave a nagging question behind. Bang, bang. There it was again. This time, when the noise came again, he saw a flash on his right just before the bang. Something was happening from down the tunnel on his right. The enormous tunnel that seemed to stretch forever, like a didgeridoo laid out many miles. It must be an illusion, he thought. But the bang was real though, and dangerous.